Thank you, Vadasan and everybody. I think it's a pleasure always to be there at Data Amplified and present some of the valuable insights. This is just a small study, or I would say just a beginning of what I would like to share with everybody. A small exercise that we are also conducting based on the new digital signature specification. So let me just, sorry. Yeah. So today's topic is going to be pretty not simple, I would say. It's kind of a bit technical as well. But we'll be discussing more on the digital signature, the implications of the new digital signature specification, how it is going to impact the regulatory reporting, what will be the challenges from the vendor's perspective, from the issuer's perspective, from the auditor's perspective as well. And we'll see some key insights from our ongoing implementations. So starting with that. So what are digital signature? I think everybody knows about it, but in the digital space of reporting, how this is going to be useful, how this can be used basically. So what we know is it authenticates the identity of the sender, right? And also the information. So how it works, a simple image, like somebody is sharing the information with a private key and the receiver receives it with a public key, right? This is what we know. And in the digital space, this also is used to digitally or document sign the information. I think most of the regulators are already using the digital signature in a different ways or formats. But when we go in the XBRL space, how this is going to get impacted. So why there is a need for digital signature in XBRL, right? So everybody is talking about digital data, digital authenticity, how do you make the data authenticate, like all this information, if you see, it ensures the document was created by the sender and it is not been tampered. When we say like ESEF documents, it has to be audited by the auditor. So also the recommendation or the auditor's certification or the approval is also very important. So the verification by the auditor also plays an important role in the digital signature. And it prevents the signatories from later denying the fact that, okay, they are the only one who signed the document. So these are the few of the key things that is going to be why there is a need for digital signature. It is going to have your data integrity possible, authenticate. It is not going to, it will going to reduce the risk of fraud as well. So what is the new digital signature specification 1.0, which is the candidate recommended specification right now? It is undergoing feedback, constructive feedback, and it is welcoming all the vendors, regulators to participate, to do a pilot activity, right? So this entire specification talks about establishing a standardized method for applying digital signature in your digital filing. That's one thing. How are we going to do that? So based on the specification, there is a recommendation that in the meta file or the meta folder, everybody must have seen the package. When you submit the XBRL filing, it goes in a zip file. In the zip file, you have a meta info folder, and within that, there is a recommendation that all the digital signature documents will be placed in there. So this is something that is unique, this is different, which XBRL International is working upon. And also, it is going to leverage the existing digital signature which has been implemented in the other jurisdiction. So nobody has to really do everything from scratch. There can be some things which can be taken, which can be improvised, and they can use this signature specification easily in their platforms. There's also possibility to have different signatories sign, the documents. There can be multiple auditors, if you per se. So different auditors can sign the digital documents, place it in the folder, and then submit via the filings. So this is just a practical, signature document, which is what is done right now. This is from one of our implementation that is using the existing digital signature technology, not the specification. So where you see this is the XBRL file, what you see at the top is the entire XBRL codes, the filing information, what is the name of the entity and everything. What below you see, this is the digitally signed XBRL report. These are the digital signature properties or the concepts. When it is submitted to the regulator, the auditor or the company secretary has to provide their details, right? So this is the one of the case when they have to submit all this information while submission. So how is it going to be with the new digital signature? What things will change and how it will look like? So I was talking about with the XBRL signature specification, there will be a reporting package. So this is just a thing. If there will be a sample report which will have the company's identification number for which period they are filing. Within that folder, there will be a meta folder where you have all the entry points specified. There will be a signature folder wherein you will have a JSON file as well as the XML file. So in the XML file will be the signature file of all the custodian of the signature who will be filing the documents. There is also a dc.json file. This is a file which will verify the version of the digital signature specification, right? And this file will include all the digital signature parameters, which is a kind of a target file, as well as the signature document file, XML file. So this particular will validate, and the software vendor has to make sure that this file is present in the meta folder, and if this is not present, it will consider it is not signed. So this is what is our understanding based on the specification that has been there. So what will be the impact of this on the regulatory reporting? Definitely there will be many challenges, and the reporting framework has to undergo a few set of challenges. But what it will make impact is the data integrity and the trust on the documents. That is one thing. It will also standardize across jurisdiction. Now, if you see in every region, they have digital signature vendors. They do it differently. But with this specification, globally, it will have a standardized platform of reporting or creating a digital signature sign. So like an auditor, if he is based out of in Australia or New Zealand or India, they can use the same specification and everything can be used in a seamless manner and can be integrated in the platform. It also supports the multiple signatures, that is already I mentioned, and then aligning with the existing digital signature standards. Like various jurisdiction has a different mechanism to handle it, but once it will be the first step for everyone to consider, to understand, and to implement. So it is a challenge on that side, but if that is done, probably we will be able to touch base to the next level. And also facilitating the transformation, like reducing a lot of paperwork. Right now, there are certain jurisdictions who needs a lot of paperwork to get the digital or digital signatures in place, right? So that can reduce a lot of manual intervention. So what are the challenges in implementing the signatory in the regulatory space or in audit space? Is also, there is always a need to update the system, the infrastructure, right? So there are certain regulators who have already created a different infrastructure to handle the digital signature. Now, with this specification, what additional they need to do, whether they can use the existing specification as is or they need to modify a bit. So that is the thing that every regulator has to consider. There will be also some legal requirements that they need to comply with. Definitely, every jurisdiction has their own way of looking at things. And there may be some regulators or things that they'll take a setback. Okay, no, I don't want to, because it's a different thing altogether. So they will take a setback. They will not be keen in, being the first person or being the first few implementers in this space. And audit firms, definitely, they have to integrate their tools, whatever it is. So they have to validate the document, check all the specification files are there listed, it's not tampered. The vendor also has to do the same thing, but additionally, the vendor has to maintain, update with the specification and be in line with them. So I will just share the insights from our online implementation with the digital signature, not with the specification, but the existing one. So we had, as at IRIS, we work with the different regulators in implementing their platform. So one of the implementers who have used the digital signature is the Companies Commission of Malaysia, SSM. They have already integrated the digital signature in their filing. So every company secretary has to audit and as well as have to digitally sign their XBRL filing before submission. So what they have to do is that they have to get registered first with the digital signature vendor. They need to get the PIN. And that PIN is considered the digital signature for every company to file that. And this integration is possibly done with the API connectors. The two platforms have been sharing information. And once at the time of filing, they have to select a particular file, the details will be checked, whether the expiry of the term or whether the certificate is valid or not, and then it will pass on the filing to the regulator. So the regulator is pretty much okay with this entire process right now, but what we are also thinking, or we would like to conduct a pilot exercise with them because they have already done something, and with the new specification, if we can see how the things go on, and whether this will be very useful exercise for for the entire community to study and look upon. So we will be handshaking with them and working on the digital signature specification and seeing the entire filing flow, how it works. So what are the key benefits to each of the stakeholders here? I think we've already pretty much discussed, but just a few things for the 4 stakeholders mainly we deal with: the regulators, entities, auditors, software vendors. Regulator, it is going to be pretty simple, like the challenges may be there, the implementation cost may be there. Of course, there will be reduction of risk, and standardization will be there across the regulate jurisdiction. For the entities, it will be like a secured filing system will be there. You will be having multi-signature facility. The cost will be saved on the physical signature verification thing. And auditors, definitely, there will be audit trail. The global consistency will be there. Authenticity will be maintained. And of course, the software vendors, they need to always evolve, always be updated with the latest specification going on. They need to mold their systems. They need to adapt to the change. And this will be a very nice thing for the auditors or the software vendors to grab the market traction. So this is something which everybody can look upon, and hopefully we can do some innovation in this entire space. So what is a way forward for entire exercise here, right? Definitely XI is seeking feedback on the consultation or on the digital signature specification. They're welcoming regulators, auditors, and the software vendors to participate and do some pilot exercise using the specification. As well as, there is a also plan, if there are 2 live implementations have been successfully done, this specification will be considered as a valid specification and can be used across jurisdiction. So yeah, I think this is something that I just wanted to share, a very brief overview, but it's just a food for thought. And thank you everyone for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Again, it's a very important update. Thank you so much. And digital signature is also an important part for digital reporting, especially XBRL. Do you have any questions, additional questions? Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. I was wondering, how does it work with the signature of the auditor? Is this signature possibly also going to be integrated in the signature folder? And if so, he needs to actually change the package then, because it is already a package he audited. Mm-hmm. Is this also the way you want to work? Because is that acceptable for an auditor to change the content of a reporting package? Or?
Yeah, so I think as far as I know, or I read the specification, the signature folder that I did mention, that will be the folder. In that there will be 2 files. One will be the reporting package file, the JSON file, and the XML file. So XML file will be there, which will be used by the auditors to sign. So in that, the signature will be defined. And definitely, I think, again, so the flow, like where the entities prepare, the auditors review, and then they will put that signature in there, right? And then that will be considered as a valid document for the submission. So the entire process, probably may not be, I think right now not clear, but probably going down the line, we may have a detailed process structured way.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or the comment? Okay. I have just a very simple question. Okay. If we inserting the digital signatures in the XBRL data, the part is quite tiny, but does it cause the change of the data processing performance? Maybe negligible.
maybe negligible, but I think, that's the exercise that we need to do and see, how
Okay.
seamless, or are there any things that will come across during the validation process.
Yeah.
There has also to be validation in place, to verify the digital signature. So the specification needs to include the validation part as well. So that is something we can also look into that, how to validate. Basically, these are the files that need to look into. In the files, these all information should be present. So that will be taken care.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Because if the number of the incoming reports, okay, the reports is increasing, even though the tiny, say, the change of the processing time can cause the big difference of the total data processing. So that's why I was asking that. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, more and more we put, say, new functions into the XBRL. Okay, that will cause another, say, processing time issues. So that's the point. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other the comments or the questions? Okay.
Thank you. So you mentioned during the presentation that there's a possibility of signing the section of the document, not the whole document, but also some sections. So I'm wondering the practical usage of that and how this is actually to be implemented technically in this JSON file.
So I think I'm not the right person to comment on it, because I also need a better clarity on this, how exactly this thing will flourish, where the files should be placed, whether we can sign a single section or the entire report and the entire validation part of it. So I think we are talking to Exaya as well, how best we can do this, what are the challenges that we see going forward. And with the pilot exercise I did mention, we will be doing that with one of our clients. So whatever insights will be there, I'm happy to share with you also going forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other more questions? Oh, okay. Who is here? Okay, I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. So how was the process with the authority in Malaysia for implemented the signature? And if there is another country that, or another authority that is also willing to implement it?
So I think the experience working with SSM was pretty easy for us, because they already had the digital signature vendor in there, and they already have certain ways of doing the signature at different level or a different mandate level. So for us, it was very easy just to tie with them, share some APIs, connectors, or share the API mapping, and that is how the system reads and interprets. So at the time of filing itself, only it will check the authenticity and the identity of the sender. And definitely, once you sign with the PIN, so PIN is considered as a digital signature over there. So if the PIN is there, it considers it is valid. It also checks at the time of digital signature whether it holds correct. It is valid for that particular period. So if a signature is going to get expired or it is expired, it will stop the filing. It will not go further. So those certain things have been already checked upon in the existing implementation. Going to different jurisdiction, I think this is the first one which we came across, but there will be different as well. I think there are certain in UK also filings are done with digital signature. Probably I've not seen that, but I've just heard about it. So we need to see, how different vendors are dealing with this and how we can enhance the system going forward with the new specification.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for the presentation. I have actually two questions. The first question is all about the technical part on it's a little bit technical, but how do you prevent influence from a partly signed document that the other parts will actually influence either technical validity or informational content from the signed parts, maybe through overlapping, through styles, through anything that is out there? Is there any way of preventing that?
Again, I said, the technical part, I also need to know about it, because I'm also still recently working on this. So definitely, I need to see how it is going to get impacted. But we'll see, going forward, what are the things that we can see, like what will be the challenges going forward.
And on the other side, from the auditor's view, if we're going to sign this on a digital part, so we would actually include our signature, as you said, into the signature folder inside the package. For the guys who are with the RTS in Europe with ESEF, what we have, we actually have the specification as part of our audit, the report package
Yeah.
specification. So editing the document that is to be audited feels a little bit weird for me.
Absolutely, for me also. So definitely, that's what I'm saying. The compliance process, how it will come through or how it will be, taken forward is something we need to see. ESEF is the best example to deal because there is an auditor involved. There is a different way of doing things. But here in the existing implementation, it's very easy. A single platform, you just do it, right? So there will be down the line challenges. I think these case studies would be a really good example to implement the digital signature. If XI has already raised an initiative, like please be there, volunteer for things. So if we can do that, that's the best thing.
Any other questions? Okay. So thank you again, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.